I don't even want to say anything. Let's just start talking about Game of Thrones Season 1 of Episode 3. Wow. Season 3, Episode 1. Let's get started. Now, warning, spoilers will be in this review. I'm going to talk about the entire episode in great detail. The show starts off, you go right back to where you got off in Season 2. Sam is still somewhere, I'm not sure. He must have ran somewhere from the White Walkers because there's none around him anymore. He sees what looks like his friend. He goes up to him, his head's chopped off. And then Sam sees one White Walker coming at him in the distance, and of course he's a coward, so he just kind of stands there, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna die. But out of nowhere, Jon Snow's wolf comes out of the blue and just bites it and starts dragging it. And then the leader of the Night's Watch comes up with a bunch of guys, burns the White Walker, kills it, and they take Sam, and that's really all you see from the Night's Watch from this episode. They're going back to the wall now. I assume they're gonna try and protect it from all the White Walkers that are bound to be coming. And this scene was pretty interesting. It started to get the story going about what the Night's Watch are going to do about this problem. And then moving on, you get to see Jon Snow, and he finally gets to meet Mance something. It's Mance Rayder. I'm not sure yet. I will get it soon, I promise. And he's played by Tyrion Hines, and it was a really cool scene to watch because Jon Snow comes in, and Mance asks him why he wants to be part of the Wildlings now, and Jon Snow gives him an answer, and he doesn't like it, and he asks him again, and he doesn't like it, and then he asks him again, and it gets really tense, and then Jon Snow tells this story, and then Jon Snow talks about how in Season 2 he saw the guy give his son into the woods to the White Walkers, and that was just a really cool scene, because you get an introduction to Mance Rayder, and it was really cool. I think he's gonna be a really cool character. Oh yeah, and before he got to meet Mance, there was just this weird scene, like this giant walked by, he must have been like 8 or 10 feet tall. It was very odd, but it was very fitting for this show, and I thought it was a really interesting thing because now that you see these wildlings, they have all these different types of stuff, and now they have these giants too. That's gonna be pretty fun for people facing them. And I might mix up a few things talking about the episode, but I think the next thing you saw was King's Landing, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't matter, I'm just going to talk about everything in the episode anyway. You go to King's Landing and Tyrion is in his little personal place now. It's not the big house or room he had when he was the Hand of the King. It's just this small little place that has like a bed and like a couple feet of space. And CERSEI shows up with guards, of course, and Tyrion is very hesitant about letting her in, but he does anyway. Apparently he's going to see his father later that day. And it's just a really fun little scene, and Cersei's still a terrible person. Tyrion gets the best of her with some witty dialogue. It's just a fun scene overall. And then Bronn shows up, and he and Tyrion have more witty dialogue about how Tyrion has to pay him more now. And moving from that, I'm just gonna talk about the scene with Tyrion and Tywin because that seems more fitting because I'm talking about King's Landing right now. Tyrion and Tywin have a meeting, and as soon as the scene started, I could just see that Tywin just despises Tyrion. I didn't honestly think he was just gonna come out and just berate him like he does during the scene. There's just an overall tenseness about them being in the same room together. Tyrion's a little bit pissed that his father didn't come see him while he was recovering from his wounds, but after that, he moves on to say that he wants Casterly Rock because now he is the only legal heir to it. And then Tywin goes on berating him, talking about how he killed his mother coming into this world. Tyrion does not deserve Casterly Rock, doesn't deserve Tywin's name, doesn't deserve anything really. And then he threatens to kill the next whore he finds in Tyrion's bed. So, yeah, I don't think Tywin likes Tyrion, but this is a really telling scene. Tyrion looks visibly pissed when his father is berating him, so I get the feeling that they're gonna come to a head at some point in the future. You know what, I think I'm just gonna go by location at this point, because then also at King's Landing, you see Sansa and Shae, and they're watching these ships go by, and they're playing this little game Sansa has, where they describe and create a whole story for where the ship is going and what it's gonna do. And then Littlefinger, or Lord Baelish, comes up, and he starts talking to her and tells her that he can possibly smuggle her out when he leaves because he has something big planned, and apparently he's going to leave King's Landing, but she needs to be ready on a moment's notice. While he says that, Shae talks to Ros, and the gist of that conversation is Ros tells Shae to keep an eye on Sansa and protect her, especially from Littlefinger, because he is a very dangerous person. And of course, you know, in Season 1 he did screw one Stark, and I get the feeling he wants to screw another, but in a different way, if you know what I mean. Let's see what else. I'm trying to save Daenerys for last. What else happened? Robb Stark went to Harrenhal to try and... I wasn't actually sure what he was talking about at first. He was talking about a battle and having one there, but Tywin was already gone. So they go in and they just see a bunch of the Northmen butchered. And Talisa, there's one alive. She tries to help him out. And then Robb says that they should find a cell to put his mom in. And that's really all that happens. You just see a bunch of their men butchered and Robb is sad and they're at Harrenhal now. That's really all you got from him this episode. And oh yeah, Stannis is back where he is. It's like I'm really bad. There's a lot of names on this show, a lot of places, so I'm still trying to learn every single one. I'm pretty sure it's called Dragonstone or Dragon Hall, something to that extent. Nevertheless, Stannis is there and all he does is talk to Melisandre. He doesn't let anybody else in the room, his generals or anything. And then you see Davos, who I thought was dead after episode 9 of season 2. And he's on this rock and he gets saved by the pirate who Stannis got a bunch of ships from to go to Blackwater Bay. And the pirate says he's not helping Stannis anymore because Stannis just kind of got defeated and that's that. Even after warning him not to and essentially calling him an idiot for wanting to. And Davos tries to kill Melisandre. That kind of fails miserably. He tells Stannis that she is really not the right person that he should be with. And then Stannis has him thrown in a dungeon cell, so... Stannis is kind of going insane here with this light god stuff. I don't like Stannis. I never really liked Stannis, but he's really going overboard now with this light god thing. I don't want him to win the Iron Throne. He's just so boring and dull. And finally, we see Daenerys really late in the episode. She's on a ship to this place to get an army. And you see the dragons there growing fast. The dragon throws a fish up in the air, burns it and eats it. That was a pretty cool thing to see. The CGI on the dragons, I will say, is amazing. These dragons look completely realistic. And I could see that they were using some green screen for Daenerys' scenes, but it wasn't that distracting. So that was alright. And she arrives there and she's talking to this guy about the army and how much it'll cost and different things, how are they trained and whatnot. And he's just, she can't understand it, I don't think, but he's just insulting her, calling her a whore, a moron. And it's just, this guy, I don't like him, of course I don't, he's just an asshole. The army is very loyal, they're trained harshly, they have to kill babies to get into it. It's a very weird thing, and I really want the guy who was talking to her and calling her a moron dead really quickly. I'm sure she'll get this army eventually. And then you see the last scene in the episode, she's walking and talking to Ser Jorah, and she sees this little girl with a ball, so she's kind of following her as she talks. And you see this guy in a cloak following her. And she goes up to the little girl rolls the ball to her, and she says, like, turn it so you can open it. So she's about to do that, but then this guy in the cloak pushes her, but the thing is starting to open anyway, the ball. I apologize if you can hear that, but there is a scorpion inside of it, and it's about to kill Daenerys, but this guy in the cloak saves her. I'm really sorry about this noise, I really am. I try to avoid it. But this guy saves her, and he takes off the cloak to reveal it to be Ser Barristan, who Joffrey, like, banished, and Joffrey essentially stripped him of his power in Season 1 and just sent him off. Now he is pledging his loyalty to Daenerys, and I thought it was a really cool scene to end it on, because, you know, it's an assassination attempt. Oh, and that little girl, by the way, she jumps in the water after throwing the ball, and there's not a hint of her jumping in, and then you see her on top of this tower. And when she was hissing, she had like blue teeth, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But Ser Barristan pledges his loyalty to Daenerys. I thought it was a cool scene to end the episode. And there's this one shot of Jorah while Barristan is pledging his loyalty. He just looks really disgusted and angry. He definitely has his reservations about this, and I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see in the upcoming episodes. So I really loved this first episode of Game of Thrones Season 3. I thought it was very enjoyable. Not too much happened, but you know what, it's the first episode and it's really setting the stage for what's going to happen in the upcoming episodes, and I really loved it. I'm going to give this episode an A- just because it was a little bit slow, not all that much happened, and we didn't get to see any of Jaime and Brienne, and I really like that storyline, so I hope that comes back next episode. But it's still a very enjoyable episode. If you love Game of Thrones, of course you're gonna love this. I don't even think I have to say that, and I'm probably not going to in the upcoming reviews. But what'd you guys think of this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What's been your favorite episode so far of the entire show? Rate me with comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, well, I'm gonna run out of puns with this quickly, but I'm gonna get dragons and I'm gonna burn things, and I'm probably not gonna do that.